Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas. This is how to make an RPG in Unity, and welcome to episode 25. So this time we're going to actually make our spider die, because at the moment our spider boss can kill us, but we can't kill it. This guy right here. And we'll actually piece a bit more of this quest together, and hopefully by next episode we'll have it all resolved, and it'll be pretty cool. So first off, let's sort out a death animation for our spider boss. And we can do that if we click on spider, click on the element 0, walk, and just like we have done with the other two, let's take out the death animation, hold control, press D to duplicate, bring it out of the prefab. Wrap mode is going to be once, and let's go to debug, just check it is legacy, which is all good. Back to normal, and click on the spider, size 3, and element 2 will be death. So that is in there, ready for us to play. Now, to do the actual whole death of the spider, we can kind of cheat a little bit. Rather than rewrite an entire script all over again, we can use the original spider enemy script that we used for our little enemy right here. So if we go to the spider enemy itself, click on the spider enemy script over here in the inspector panel, and we can see spider enemy right there. So let's hold control, press D to duplicate the script, and you will get an error at this point down here, but don't worry about that. Let's rename the script to spider boss enemy, and let's take away that one that it has put at the end there. So spider boss enemy, and let's open that script up in Visual Studio. Now, because we've changed the name of the script, we will have to change the public class name up here. So firstly, let's add in spider boss enemy. And there's going to be a couple of things we need to modify in the script itself. Firstly, let's change the enemy health to 20. It's a boss. It's going to have more health than the original spider that we created. Next thing, let's take a look at this little line here. Now this one, if you remember correctly, is a way we can define a script to turn off in the game. And because Spider AI doesn't exist as an actual script on this enemy, we're going to need to change that to Spider Boss AI it should be. Let me quickly check. It is Spider Boss AI, yes. So we change that to Spider Boss AI. The script name can remain the same, but we do need to change this in void start to match. So spider boss AI. There's a couple of variables we need to add to this as well, because we're going to cleverly swap out the NPC seamlessly. So once we kill the spider boss, as it were, we're going to swap out the NPC. Although it would be the same NPC, the actual player that plays the game won't notice any difference, but we're going to do something a little bit clever to actually complete the quest. We're also going to add in another script because we have to turn off this spider boss attack script at the same time, in the same way we're doing with the spider boss AI. So let's add those three variables to this script. Public game object, and we'll have, what should we call it, old NPC semicolon, and then public game object new NPC semicolon, and finally that script that we need to turn off. So public, and it's called spider boss attack, and we'll just call that spider attack script semicolon. So what we'll do here is in void start, we will take this line of code, copy, paste, and just change a couple of things here. So spider AI script becomes spider attack script, and spider boss AI becomes spider boss attack. So now we've set those two scripts perfectly fine. So we need to make a couple more modifications on this. Firstly, we're going to need to change the animation name to death rather than die, because obviously the name is actually death rather than die. I think die was what was used on the original spider, so we just changed that there. Next thing we need to do is, after all that's been said and done, spider's dead, what we need to do is deactivate the old NPC. So old NPC dot set active false semicolon, and new NPC dot set active true. So that's where we've swapped out the two NPCs. And as I say, it's something that we will work with because that new NPC is going to give us a different line to say, oh, well done, you've done this quest. So let's save that script, head back to Unity, and hopefully we get rid of the errors. Perfect, it does. So now we need to drag and drop this spider boss enemy onto our boss spider. Like so. And down the bottom, we just need to set those couple of variables. So, because we don't actually have the new NPC yet, we don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to set the same game object for that just for now. What we'll do is the spider will be the spider right there. Spider AI script we don't need to worry about. And spider attack script we don't need to worry about. The script will automatically set those. So the NPC is going to be NPC 001. And we'll do the same for there. Now let's save our game. And hopefully guys, this should work. So if we press play and keep an eye on the spider boss enemy script in the inspector panel, as I come to attack this spider, it should hopefully die. One thing though, it would help if I actually had hold of a sword. So we're going to cheat a little bit to find the FPS controller and turn the sword on. We must remember to turn it off when we're done. Okay, so let's try this again. So hopefully. Right, here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, right, I can see what's going on here. So it looks like... So theoretically, the spider is dead, but he's still attacking. So we're going to need to debug this a little more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the enemy boss health to 5. Save. And let's have a quick debug session to see what's going wrong here. So let's bring this down, and we need to make sure when we've attacked our spider, all scripts get turned off. So let's get ourselves into a position and attack. Oh, it's gone to... Okay, so spider boss attack script is still active. Now, why would that be? So if we actually turn that off, he's not going to attack us. So I think it's, let me see, I think we missed a line of code out, haven't we? Yes, right here. So death spider, that's my fault, guys. We need to put an extra line of code here to say spider attack script .enabled is false. So now let's work on the fact that he is still well, animating. So I'm hoping what we could do is, let's see if we can prevent, because walk seems to be the default animation. So let's take a look in our scripts and have a look at this. So sorry guys, let me quickly find this. Could always turn off the so let's turn off the animation. Let's see if it works that way. So let me see if I can find the spider boss enemy. So we have the spider. We played the animation. So if we wait for maybe 0.1 of a second just for now, and then the spider dot get component animation dot enabled equals false, semicolon, and save. So finally, let's debug this and make sure our spider actually dies. So we set with 20 health again, so we're going to need to... There we go. So he is technically dead. He's just kind of frozen in that position. So what I'm thinking, guys, is if we extend this just a little, so we can kind of give a dead impression. So let's try this out. And I think whatever happens now... Oh, he killed us. Sorry, that was my fault, guys. I think whatever happens now, we've got the basics down. It's just a case of working out your time frame to have your boss spider die. So we've kind of frozen him in that position. One thing I will quickly check is just see what his death animation is like. So one cool way of seeing that, guys, is if we have death as the default animation up here. Press play and let's just see what it does. This should be kind of fun to see. So let's head over here, have a look. And he's just walking again. Okay, that's intriguing. I think it could be because of the element 0, but that's not to worry. Either way, you can play the death animation and then we'll turn off the animation component, so he's going to be dead, so that's not to worry. So at that point, when we've done that, we've worked out our XP and we've turned on our new NPC. So for this now, what we'll do is let's sort out this gate, because if you remember, we added some animation to it last time to get it working correctly. So what we'll do is we will create a border around it, a game object, to allow us to open this gate, but only open the gate when we've actually spoken to our NPC. So you can see what I mean with creating a quest like this. It's long and it's so intricate at times because you've got to remember certain things can only be done at certain times. So it takes a lot longer than you would think. So game object, 3D object, cube, rename it, and let's call it open gate object. And let's bring it into position. So we want it in front of the gate and we want it to stretch the entire length of the gate. So we can just stretch on the Z to about there, move it into position, and on the Y as well, about there. And the script we're going to use, well, we've already used this kind of script before. If you remember, in the scripts folder, we have, if I can remember which one it is, a script which will allow us to interact with different things. So for example, the NPC 001 script, if we go into that, we have basically everything we need here. So what we're going to do is create a new script in the quest 001. When I right click, create C# script, Q001 open gate. So then we'll open that script up and we can copy pretty much all of our NPC 001 script into there with a bit of modification. So all we do is let's take from on mouse exit to the top of our variables. So let's take them. Why rewrite it when we've already got that script there that we can just reuse? And let's paste it into our class right here. So we're going to need the distance to stay. Yep. We're going to need action display. Yep. We're going to need action text. Yep. We're going to need the player. Maybe not. We'll see. Text box, we'll see. So we'll go through this. First things first, let's add in using Unity engine.ui because we've got UI elements here. Next thing we'll do is we will action text display say open gate. So now if we press the action key, we don't need this, so let's delete these bits here. That's fine. And start coroutine. We don't really need we don't need a coroutine here, so we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of that note there. Make sure this is empty. Yep, that's fine. So once we open the gate, we'll need to set the action text here as blank. So if we do press the action button, that's fine. And then that needs to be blank. And then we also set block sword should be fine. Yep, so that's okay. So the next thing we need to do is let's get rid of these 4 variables. I don't think we use them, do we? Nope, we don't. So what we'll do is we'll have public game object left gate, and same with the other one, public game object right gate semicolon. So now what we do is we have left gate dot get component in brackets animation open close bracket dot play, and in brackets and quotes, let's make sure we're getting the right one here. So it's going to be left gate anim. So left gate anim brackets semicolon, and let's copy that line of code and change that to right gate and play right gate animation. One thing we'll also do is once we've activated that particular thing, once we've said yes, open the gate, we need to go get component box collider dot enabled equals false, because we don't want to redo the same process over and over and over. So now let's finally attach that script to this object, which is right there. Let's set those variables. So action display is in our canvas, and it is action character, that's the one in there. Action text left gate is here, so left gate and right gate, and I'm going to turn off the mesh renderer. Let's bring our first person controller back into the village so we actually have the opportunity to open this gate. So let's bring it to here maybe. Does that look about right? Press play. Perfect. And it looks like, yep, we can't get through because the object is still there. Why has that happened? Let me see. So it looks like, see, this is the great thing about debugging, guys. Let's turn the mesh renderer back on. So it's still there, but the box collider doesn't exist on it. So what is blocking us here? Let's turn the mesh renderer on for the gates and turn off the mesh renderer for that there. So I don't see why we would be unable to pass through. It's the beauty of working like this. So let's try this a different way. So the box collider isn't working correctly. So if I... Sorry guys, this is absolutely strange. If anyone's figured this out at this point, please shout and scream in the comments below. Please do. So what happens if I turn that gate object off? It's still, something is still blocking us. That is very bizarre. I've got to be honest, guys. That is absolutely bizarre. It may be the gates themselves. So let me see if this works now. So if I open the gate, let's have a look in scene view on right gate. So we can see that's, yep, that's okay. So gate object, go back to game view. Let's open the gate, go back to scene view. No, nothing should be blocking us at all, but it is. So if anyone at all can figure out why this is the case, please let me know in the comments. This is a very, very strange thing. So I'm going to turn off the, let me see, let's turn off the collider for the gates and let's see if anything happens. So we should be able to, theoretically, walk through the gates. So open. And we still can't get through. Do you know what, guys? This has absolutely baffled me. I'll return with an update. So, guys, you will never guess what it was. After me being a little bit silly, we'd already had this on here. I'm hoping some of you guys shouted and screamed at me during that little section right there. My apologies for that. So I'm actually going to turn off that cube right there, because I do believe originally when we were going to do all this, it was my intention to have that as like the second quest, but finally, yeah, we have it right there. So that's all good now. We actually have that working. So I'm going to quickly turn off the mesh render for both those gates, the pivot points, and I'm going to save my scene right there. So guys, my apologies for that. Silly little things catch you out all the time in game development. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. Anyway, next episode, we're going to finally pull this whole thing together and have the completion done, as well as testing from start to finish what we have here. So we're going to look at maybe adding some sound effects to the gates when they open. We're going to need to get to a point where we can turn on and off our enemies depending on what we're doing, and we'll swap out that NPC for real. And we'll also take a break from all this development and we'll do something with a main menu, because I've got a really cool idea to do, and I'm hoping that's going to look pretty cool when we're done. So guys, until the next episode, thank you very much for watching.